Dr. Russell Skinner onto the program with us this morning on Houston's Morning News. Family medicine practitioner in Dallas. Doctor, how are you this morning?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much. So if one spouse decides to pork up a little bit during marriage, chances are pretty doggone good that the partner is going to do the same thing, huh?
That's true. That's what this study shows.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Why is that? Why does the weight gain of one spouse translate into, I think the study showed, double the chance of the spouse becoming obese as well?
Yes, it actually was nearly double the risk. Matter of fact, for men, if the wife and the couple became obese, there was about a nearly 80% chance that he would, and that was closer to 90 if it was the other way around, where the husband gained weight and the wife had almost 90% chance of gaining weight as well.
Doctor, you studied this over like 25 years. This is a long-term study.
Yes, it was. They started signing up couples back in the late 80s, and then they did 3 follow-ups 3 years apart, and then did a final follow-up in about 2010. They did say that by that time they did have several couples that had kind of dropped out, so that kind of is one shortcoming in some of the results. But the rest of the statistics are there. And you know, when you think about it, intuitively it makes sense, because couples tend to have the same habits. They tend to do things together, and especially the longer they're married, you know, their eating habits tend to reflect the same for both. Their exercise habits, their health interests, so forth, tend to kind of move along in line. And so it shouldn't necessarily be a surprise that if one gains weight that the other spouse would too.
You know, it actually does make a lot of sense, Doctor. Dr. Russell Skinner joining us, Bob Franson from Matt, along with Shara on Houston's Morning News, because, you know, you sit down and if one person is eating you eat every meal together when you're married, or at least most of the time. And if one is eating a salad and the other one's eating a bacon double cheeseburger, one of two things is going to happen over time. The one eating the salad is going to say, that looks too doggone good, and start doing it themselves. Or, I guess in less of the cases, the other one's going to say, you know, you're eating healthy, I will too. Why is it that we're always tempted to go the wrong way?
Well, I think that's our human nature to an extent. The study actually did show that the couples, they said there weren't a lot in the study that had happened, but if one spouse did lose weight over that time, their spouse actually tended to lose weight with them also. And, you know, for me in family practice, you know, what this study tells me and kind of really reinforces for me is that if someone comes into my office and says, hey, doc, you know, I'm trying to lose weight and I need some help, that yes, you know, it's important that I counsel with them, but it's equally important that I talk to their spouse, and that really our treatment for obesity should be focused on treating them as a couple. Because if I talk to one and talk to them about exercise and diet and healthy eating and healthy choices, but their spouse at home isn't doing it, then their chances of succeeding go way down.
Doesn't that also, Doctor, kind of apply to the kids, too? If you've got kids in the house who have got all the sweet cereals and all of the other, you know, not so healthy food around, it's very hard for a parent or an adult to stay on a diet with all of those things in the cupboard tempting them.
It absolutely is. And, you know, for you know, obviously, as the parents, we're kind of responsible for what food's in the house, so that becomes a little bit easier. But at the same time, you know, kids, they eat different. They're how much they can eat are different. I have 3 sons, and they're all athletic, and they can eat a lot more than I can and not gain any weight. And so we definitely cook very different for them, and amounts are very different. If you're not careful, you end up eating like your 17-year-old football player, which is not how I should be eating.
I'm raising my hand right now. You can't see it, but I'm raising my hand right now as guilty, because I do. My kids are both young and athletic and healthy, and there's junk in the house.
And French fries, it is so difficult when those French fries come across the table.
Absolutely. So you really, you know, when we go out, you know, when they're ordering, you know, double cheeseburger and fries, and you're going, I'll have the grilled chicken Caesar. You know, it's very difficult. But definitely for spouses, I think the takeaway for doctors is that they really need to be making sure that couples are going to be on the same page and supportive and going through any obesity treatment together, because that's what's going to make it.
And that's good advice to take away from this as we wrap up. Dr. Russell Skinner, family doctor in Dallas. Doctor, thank you so much.